Movie review. Pirates of Silicon Valley is a 1999 American biographical drama television film directed by Martin Burke. Cast: Noah Weil as Steve Jobs, Anthony Michael Hall as Bill Gates, John DiMaggio as Steve Ballmer, and Joey Slotnick as Steve Wozniak. Microsoft became the world's largest personal computer software company. The imaginary depict of the initial steps and the first office premises of both Apple and Microsoft. Two most profound technological companies of the era have started their walk to the stars in the garage and motel rooms. Bill Gates companies: Microsoft Corporation, Xbox Game Studios, Berkshire Hathaway, Four Seasons Hotel and Resort, Canadian National Railway, Caterpillar Incorporated, Ops and FedEx, Waste Management Incorporated. Steve Jobs companies: he was the chairman, chief executive officer, CEO, and the co-founder of Apple Incorporated, the chairman and majority shareholder of Pixar, a member of the Walt Disney Company's board of directors following its acquisition of Pixar, and the founder, chairman, and CEO of Next. Summary of the two main characters. Steve Jobs is a visionary. He sees and imagines things on how they work and on how will he do it in real life. He do all the things he need to do to create a computer like Apple I, Apple II, Lisa Computer, and Macintosh. He hires people who can help him to achieve it, and he controls them. That's why some of his employees don't like him. Bill Gates. He enrolled at Harvard in 1973, but only studied there for 2 years. Gates was much more interested in coding and starting his own company than in academics. He developed a computer operating system and founded Microsoft in April 1975 with Paul Allen, a fellow Lakeside School alum. What software was introduced in the film? It is Microsoft and Apple. What computers were introduced in the film? Apple I, Apple II, Apple Lisa Computer, and Macintosh Apple. What is the deal of both companies at that time? As Jobs and Wozniak developed their Apple computers, they were interested in using Gates' computer software. Jobs reached out to Gates about creating programming language for Apple's personal computers, but Gates had signed a deal with IBM, the dominant computer producer of the day. Jobs went to Seattle, where Gates was based, and they reached an agreement of Microsoft to develop software for Apple. Gates would put together a spreadsheet program, Excel, a word processing program, Word, and basic and easy-to-use programming language. What is the reason both founders split the deal? While Apple was getting its Macintosh ready for the masses, Gates and Microsoft continued to work with IBM. This worried Jobs, who feared that Microsoft would steal the graphics interface from his Macintosh technology and use it for its own ends. When he found out about Microsoft Windows in 1983, he unloaded on Gates. Gates was developing software for IBM that used graphics much like Jobs envisioned and was working toward, which infuriated Jobs. What inspired the GUI? The graphical user interface, developed in the late 1970s by the Xerox Palo Alto Research Laboratory and deployed commercially in Apple's Macintosh and Microsoft Windows operating system. What happened to Macworld Boston 1997, the Microsoft deal? We can see in the film how Steve Jobs and the almost bankrupt at the time Apple Computer making a temporary deal with Bill Gates and Microsoft. And we can see too how the crowd was not happy about it and they even boo Bill Gates. What happened to the characters after the film as of now? Bill Gates. Gates led the company Microsoft as chairman and CEO until stepping down as CEO in January 2000, succeeded by Steve Ballmer, but he remained chairman of the board of directors and became chief software architect. In June 2008, Gates transitioned to a part-time role at Microsoft and full-time work at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the private charitable foundation he and his wife, Melinda Gates, established in 2000. He stepped down as a chairman of the board of Microsoft in February 2014 and assumed a new post of technology advisor to support the newly appointed CEO, Satya Nadella. In March 2020, Gates left his board position at Microsoft and Berkshire Hathaway to focus on his philanthropic effort, including climate change, global health and development, and education. Steve Wozniak. As of November 2019, Wozniak has remained an employee of Apple in a ceremonial capacity since stepping down in 1985. In recent years, he has helped fund multiple entrepreneurial efforts dealing in areas such as telecommunications, flash memory, technology and pop culture conventions, ecology, technical education, and more.